Well, welcome to Yearbook Week 2. And this week we're interviewing the fellas. Let's give it up for the senior guys. Let them know how much you love them. Let them know. Let them know the love. Let them know the love that they may know they're loved. All right, so most of you probably know these guys up here, but if you do not, we're going to go around, and I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves. Give us your name. Don't give us your grade, because that's obvious. Give us what school you go to. And then give us what celebrity would play you in a movie. How about that? What celebrity, what actor or actress would play you in a movie?
Actress?
Hey, whatever, dude.
I'm Dawson Tucker. I go to Mount Perrin. Celebrity. I want to say Chris Hemsworth because that's who I want to be depicted as. You know. He's a good-looking dude.
Okay. Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, I like Emma Stone because look at the resemblance.
Hi, I'm Dalton. And I go to Kennesaw Mountain.
Yeah, you do.
And probably Angelina Jolie because she tries to have my body, but she doesn't.
Oh, come on.
Like,
all right, next time. Dude, don't get me in trouble tonight, all right? Oh, okay. Go ahead, Connor.
Hi, my name is Connor Suttle. I go to Hillgrove High School. And
Who would play you in the movie?
I'd be Chris Tucker.
Okay.
Tucker, yeah.
Wait, you would be Chris Tucker or Chris Tucker would play you?
No, I'd be Chris Tucker. Yeah.
All right, I like that. That's a good answer.
I'm Cal. I also go to Hillgrove High School.
Woo.
And I would probably say John Krasinski.
John Krasinski. Okay, that's a good pick. That's a great pick. Ethan.
Hey, I'm Ethan. Go to Hillgrove.
That's not fair.
I know, right? You're outnumbered.
Probably Matthew Lillard. He played Shaggy in that movie from 2002.
Wait, the guy from Scooby-Doo?
Scooby-Doo, like the live-action movie?
Is that like one of your favorite movies or something?
Heck yeah.
Is that in your top 5?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Wow, okay. I could say I'm surprised, but that would be a lie. All right, so these guys have been picked because you guys have had a long run in Sublime. You guys are awesome. I've gotten to know you guys over the last year, and I like you guys. I'm just going to be honest about it. So we're going to get into some questions. And what we hope, if you weren't here last week, what we hope Yearbook is for you guys is an opportunity to learn, to glean some wisdom from some upperclassmen. Some people that have been through high school, been through Sublime, they're just going to kind of look back on their Sublime experience and be like, hey, here's some things I learned. Here's how the Lord has grown me. Here's how I've strengthened my walk with the Lord. And here's some advice I would give to you. So that's kind of what we're doing tonight. If you weren't here last week and you're like, what's going on? That's what we're doing tonight. So Dawson, we're going to start with you. I forgot because we switched spots. All right, so Dawson, we're going to start with you, man.
All right.
What was high points, one of the best things you experienced in your time in Sublime?
I think one of the highest points was a mission trip to Eleuthera, going into my junior year.
And where is that?
It's in the Bahamas. Yeah.
Nice.
It's a great trip. Either that or late night at Walking Wisely, junior year.
Popular, yeah.
Probably, yeah. That's
Popular
probably it,
opinion, yeah. So what about those two things that just made it just life-changing or experience setting for you in high school?
Well, at those 2 points, it felt like I was really, really close to God at that point.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Now we'll go from high points to some struggles. What's something what was one of your greatest struggles? One of the most difficult things you had to go through in your time in high school? What was that?
I think for me it was just dealing with anxiety.
Gotcha.
Not like grades or whatever, but it's more of living up to people's standards, and living up to coaches and parents' standards like that. I think that was huge.
So then, in that, which I'm sure a lot of our students can resonate with that, in that in that burden, in that difficulty, what was the turning point for you that you felt like what kind of changed it?
Well, I think my turning point was opening up to people, because it's probably this year or last year, I started talking to people about it, talking to my friends and even my parents and Paul, my small group leader. Hey, Paul. Yeah, I think that really made the turning point into this year. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
That was good. Yeah. All right, so opening up to others, talking to not only your friends and not only people in your group, but your parents about it. You feel like that kind of got it out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like that. I have to like process things with people. All right, so then since that was like the turning point, what would you say, what would be some advice that you would give with your whole experience, the whole gamut of experiences you've had in high school and Sublime? What is some sage wisdom that you would give to these guys, to these underclassmen?
I would say don't be afraid to be vulnerable. I was one of those guys that's like, oh, I don't have to say anything. It's not their problem. I'm just gonna, put it on me to, fix the problem. I'm not gonna give it to anybody else. But like when you talk to people and when you, give it to God and let other people help you out and lead you in the right direction, it changes everything. So
That's good advice, man.
yeah.
So then we talked about this a little bit. Give me just one last thing, kind of the walk off here. What is one of the most important things you've learned about Jesus or learned about your walk with Jesus in your time here?
So like
For you personally.
Sublime.
Yeah.
All right. So about a year or two ago, we went over a series called Straw, Sticks, and Bricks. And it was building foundations of friendships and relationships. And I think that really stuck with me to be able to build a firm foundation with a friendship or a relationship, wherever it is. Just starting with God. Starting with, being truthful. And
I like that. That's good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your sage wisdom. Thanks for sharing.
problem.
And I feel like you gave good advice. Let's give it up for Dawson. You're a wise man. All right. Dalton, my first question for you. I've wanted to know this for, I would say years, but I've only been here for 1 year. So this is one thing I need to know about you. How'd you get the nickname Beans?
I don't know. Everyone
The origin of any great nickname. A complete mystery.
like
I don't know.
It's been years. I don't remember. Like,
So it has no starting point that you can recall. It's just been Beans for the longest.
yeah, like
Forever. Okay.
Miles put it on me, and then it just kind of stuck.
Oh, so Miles gave you that name.
Well, it started with Miles, and then like I don't know why.
So he just was like, hey, everybody, this is Beans.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
And you didn't consent to this? You just went with it?
I was like a teeny little sixth grader. I didn't have any say. I had no right to.
Well, mister, that's not my name. You didn't want to speak. Yeah, no. All right. Well, I mean, everyone loves you, man, so it worked out. It worked out.
Thanks.
So give us maybe one of the most difficult things you went through in your high school experience.
So this everyone goes through like relationship and everything, but like, so my sophomore year, it started with my freshman year. So that's when my parents split, and that was like game changer. Like that was like a total like roller coaster right there. And it didn't really hit me. I kind of I bottled it up and I threw it away, and like I didn't let it affect me really, and I never thought about it, which didn't really help because eventually I would explode. But what happened was I started dating this girl, and then I started basically idolizing that relationship. Like I was upset, but I never showed it. But I kind of like reacted through the relationship, and it was like a really toxic relationship. And then it ended badly like a year later, and that's when I started getting into some not so good things. And then from the year, like when my parents split until the next year, I was like a completely different person at like literally rock bottom. So.
So then what in that time period that kind of started with like the parents split and then this bad relationship. So what was kind of the turning point from that, or out of that?
Well, the thing was, I always thought that I was alone in that time, and I was kind of like Dawson. Like I refused to let people, because I felt like it was burdening to other people to open up and to put that weight on their shoulders. But I was totally wrong. I started rebuilding a lot of friendships that I lost when I was just focusing on this one person, like my guy friends, as well as like making a bunch of friends through church. And then one thing was I stopped going to Sublime my sophomore year a lot. Like I'd like make excuses every week to stop going, and then I wasn't even gonna go to Walking Wisely that year. But then one of my friends, Chloe, ended up winning a raffle ticket. Like out of because Sublime used to be like huge back then too. So there'd be like, it wasn't like 50 kids, it was like hundreds. And then out of all the people, Chloe won a raffle ticket, and then out of the kindness of her heart, she gave it to me. So.
Dang. Where's she at? You've been mentioned in like everyone's story. I think half the people in the room are here because of you, Chloe. So I mean, obviously because of Jesus, but also you helped. So
So yeah, so that was and that was honestly like my best walk in Wesley too. Like I felt loved by like everyone, and like I felt like I realized that I had people there for me, even though like I felt like was literally alone. So
Yeah. And then did you go on the trip to the Bahamas too? Were you on that?
yeah, she also convinced me to go on to the trip.
You're a very persuasive person, okay? So you went on that trip too?
Yeah.
Positive experience?
Well, okay. So,
Sounds like a story.
so what happened was, when me and my ex-girlfriend broke up, we didn't break connections. Like we were still talking all the time, and like it was still like toxic and like unhealthy relationship. But what had happened was it ended really badly. Like ended really badly the night that I was on my way to the airport. Like I was here at church at 12 o'clock, like bawling my eyes out, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, she's homesick." And I'm like, "No, I'm heartbroken."
They thought you were homesick before you even got on the plane?
Yeah.
Like, man, cut the umbilical cord already.
Yeah,
Jeez.
so it was a really good getaway. Like I literally had like my phone. Like I couldn't be in contact with anybody, so it was a good way to just literally disconnect from home and just be away and like connect with the people in the Bahamas, as well as like just serving the Lord. So that was like a really great experience for me.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, as you get ready to transition to college and all that, coming out of high school, what sage wisdom would you give to the underclassmen here?
One thing I wanted to say is like, some people are always just so scared or like to be themselves sometimes, or just like or not open to like spontaneous, like being spontaneous, I guess. And
Spontaneity.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
I got you.
But just like putting yourself out
you.
there, because like it took me forever to realize like the opinions of other people, they can affect you, and like I'm guilty that like it does affect me sometimes. But in reality, like the opinions of people in high school aren't going to carry with you. Like the day that you graduate, literally none of their opinions will matter to you again. And so like while you have time to be with your friends, just go out and be spontaneous and like just do things you can, because you have time now. Like when you're older, you're not gonna have that time or opportunity. Like me and my girlfriend Bella one time, like before we were even dating, I literally told her one day, I was like, "We're going on a trip to Chattanooga," and like she was like, "Okay," and so like I just drove like 2 hours to Chattanooga and spent the day with her, like just cause I wanted to. Like
Baller move. That's a baller move.
Like it's things like that. Like you want to make experiences with your friends, and like you want to have those like happy moments and just cherish the times you have, because like high school is so fast, especially your senior year. It's gone by so fast, like literally the snap of your fingers.
Right.
So
I like it. All right. That's good advice. You guys take notes on that, and also give it up for Dalton. It was good. It was good, and it was helpful. That's really nice. You got some fans out there. All right, so, Connor, my man, let me ask you this. What has been one of your high points in your high school experience in Sublime? What's one of the best things you've experienced?
In Sublime, right?
Sublime, high school, whichever, but I don't know. If you feel like you want to make it more relative to Sublime, that works.
Well, I feel like a few years ago I was called to lead in the ministry, and that was one of those high points when I joined Shift here to help out, because I've always wanted to help people find and follow Jesus in the way like I have. So a few years ago I did that, and that really moved me to become a better Christian and more of like a role model towards little kids,
schoolers, yeah.
so that next generation can be more influenced by what God has to do, and I just thought that was so important, and I feel like you have to have a call to ministry, because there are ministers and different ministries that that don't see that way that maybe I do or like you do.
Yeah.
So I was very moved by that about a few years ago. So that really was my very high point.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I do have to give some shout outs and give some love here. So every single person that's on stage serves in this church in some capacity. So like Dawson and Dalton, they have a 5th grade boys group, second service, in Shift, our middle school ministry. Woo! And they, no, I actually got an email from a parent this week just saying how much their son loves, it's someone in your group, and just how much their son loves coming to Shift, and I bragged on you guys and said how proud I was. So, yeah. Why are you surprised by this? Well, I was going to. That's why I just told you now in front of people to honor you guys, all right? But anyway, I was just telling him this was like last night. And so, I don't know, I'm just proud of you guys for that. You play downstairs, or you play over there in shift. I appreciate that. You work with your family in the cafe. And then I feel like you're doing some random other stuff too, but I know you serve in the cafe really consistently. And then Ethan, for you guys who don't know, he actually works for us part-time here. And so he's just one of those dudes, he'll just do anything. Like he and I were moving stuff in here today. He helps set stuff up downstairs. He's just awesome, anything I need him to do. So I really just want to say, I wanted to use that as a quick transition point just to say that I'm really proud of all you guys. I'm not just saying that, like, I'm really legitimately proud of all you guys. And keep serving well. Just keep serving well. So anyway, now that we talked about your high point, give us the struggle. Give us, what was that thing that was difficult in your high school experience, difficult in your years in Sublime?
Oh, that's a kind of a story, but I'll try to be quick.
Yeah.
When I was little, me and my twin brother Mason, we were born at 2 pounds, and he was born at 1.5 pounds, and he almost didn't make it. And
Whoa, 2 pounds?
Yeah. So it was really hard for me and Mason to grow up, and as a normal kids when we were young, and sometimes I like talking about this, but some things that I go through, and I kind of talk about in my small group, is I have memory issues that I go through, and it hurts me towards my education a little bit, but I've overcome that. That's the next point, I'm guessing, but I really had to overcome that. So when I was in about 5th grade, I was over in East Cobb, and you know how that is, but every kid is up here. Okay. So I really had to, while they were having summer, hanging out with their friends, I was at home working, getting better at my material, my craft. Mm-hmm. And that was really hard for me because I always wanted to be a kid when I was little. Mm-hmm. And having my dad be a superintendent over Cobb County and being a principal and all that kind of stuff, it was really hard because I knew a lot of people, and a lot of people didn't know that about me. Mm-hmm. So when I would have conversations with other people, I wasn't being fake, but I was trying to understand what they were saying with it going out the other ear. And so that's why I got this piece of paper, because I have to put my thoughts on a piece of paper to understand. But a lot of you guys don't know that if you know me. But I'm the normal average guru. But that would be the lowest point of my life that I had to go through, is understanding that kind of stuff. And I've had great people help me through that, and I'm a lot smarter than the average person. So I would say. Okay.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah.
So the turning point out of that was just like disciplining and applying yourself?
Yeah, the turning point was definitely just, having mentors and people to help me through that. And I had to do a lot of the work on my own just to, get to the, the average person of what their memory and all that kind of stuff is. So I couldn't do it without people that, that know Jesus and that really knows my heart and where I'm leading to. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Let's see. What wisdom would you leave with the underclassmen? What would be some advice that you give to these guys as you're moving forward?
Hold on. Me, got my memory.
Okay. Yeah, you just told us. We're with you now. We're with you now.
So I think the biggest thing is, when I go to different churches and do different things and help out with people, the one thing that people do as Christians, and I know a lot of Christians do that, is they create stereotypes for different people. And I think as, this next generation that's coming up, or your next crew that's coming up, I think that once you join a church, I think you should get to know that person and get to know their heart and why they believe and how they got to believe before you create the stereotype of, I know you're a Christian. Not all Christians dive deep into the church, and some say they go to church, and some say they really love Jesus. So I would say don't create stereotypes for people. Get to know people before you think of them one way or the other.
That's great advice, man. Last question. We talked about this a little bit, but I know you've had some mentoring from this person. I want you to tell me something that you appreciate about one Jordan Mason.
I don't know if y'all know Jordan Mason, but he's been an incredible mentor for me throughout leading worship and getting to know, the instrument very well and getting to know how to reach people at different ages. And I think that's the most important thing that a mentor can do for you, especially at a young age at 19. I think that if you can target to any person in the room, I think that's very special. And has really helped me get a job and ministry and continue my passion and love for worship. And he's outstanding. So if you would love a great mentor and a great person to talk to and be there for you for anything that you need, Jordan Mason is your guy, 100%.
What's up? I like that. All right, so before we move to you, Cal, we're gonna do with a little intermission question that I asked last week. It's one of my favorite questions to ask any human being on the planet. You're stranded on a desert island, okay? How'd you get there? We don't know. That's where their story starts, okay? And so, like your nickname, Beans, we don't know the origin of this story, but we just know you're on a desert island. You can pick one book, one album, and one movie, okay? And book, we'll all just say the Bible, okay? Like, you can have the Bible plus one, plus some other book. Go for it. Lightning fast.
Well, I don't really read, so maybe like
A
one
magazine.
fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish, or something like that.
Okay, you want to read that like 1,000 times.
I mean, it's an easy read.
Okay, it is an easy read.
Album.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Live at Folsom Prison by Johnny Cash.
Whoa, throwback. Okay. Johnny Cash fans in the room. Okay. Didn't see that coming.
And then movie,
Yeah.
probably Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Top
You
Gun
got
is
some
classic.
throwback picks. I like it.
It's a
All
good
right.
movie. Yeah.
That's a solid picks. All right, go for it. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish. So when you go to college, you're going to be a lit major? Is that what you're going to do? Who are you into? Emily Dickinson or Dr. Seuss? Who you got?
Okay, so for my book, I'd bring there's like encyclopedias with like animals and stuff. It's just,
I feel like any encyclopedia would have an animal if the animal's name started with the letter that. That encyclopedia.
So it'd be like a
Lions, llamas.
No, like aquatic animals, but mainly like otters. Like just so I have pictures of otters. So that's like my favorite animal. So
Where's Bella?
she stole that from
Did you
me.
say that was your
she
spirit
stole
animal?
that. She stole that
Yeah,
from
you
me.
said that was your spirit animal last week.
Look, she stole that from me. That's me. That's me. That's all
That's
me.
amazing.
And then with album, it would probably be like, I don't know if you, Love Is Rage by Lil Uzi.
Okay.
So it's just a great album and like mixture of everything.
Okay.
Or just Marvin's Room, just because I'm sad that I'm alone on the island all the time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you would be by yourself, so sometimes you want to give in to that sad, lonely feeling. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
And then movie. So I like a lot of movies, but like I mainly watch like military war movies, and so
Okay.
it's like 13 Hours. It's Jim from The
yeah.
Office. So it's a really good movie.
The guy who plays Cal in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Good picks. All right, Connor, what do you got? Book, album, movie.
For my book, I would choose. So I'm reading this book right now. It's called "Are You Meant for Ministry?" And like I said, I'm going into ministry, so I really am inspired by that book. So I would be reading a lot. Yeah.
Okay. But what if you read the book, decide you are meant for ministry, and then it seems like it's superfluous because you already figured it out?
Then I'm lost.
Oh, man.
Just lost it.
All right. Oh, yeah. Then you have your Bible to read. Okay.
Yeah.
Second thing, album. Favorite album.
I'm a big country kind of guy, so Florida Bama album.
Okay.
Chesney.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then
LBN.
finally, what movie? What movie?
Kicking and Screaming or Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights. I respect. I can get behind that movie. Kick his.
Bad Boys 2.
Bad Boys too. All right, Cal, what do you got?
For book, I'm going to be honest. I absolutely hate reading, so I would not be bringing a book besides the Bible.
So you choose death over having to have a book? Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Jeez. All right.
And then album, I don't really listen to music like that, but I would probably But I probably would bring like
All right, go ahead. What?
I'd probably bring like the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack.
That's a good one. That's good. That's good. That's yours. Okay, that's good. All right, and then movie.
So movie, I'm like a kid at heart, so I would totally be bringing Toy Story 2.
Toy Story 2. Okay. Why 2? Why 2 of all the Toy Stories? Why 2?
Because 2's the best one.
Okay.
I mean, it's got Stinky Pete in it. It's got Stinky Pete.
All right. Lastly, Ethan, what do you got? What book? Do you hate reading as vehemently
I
as the rest
also
of these
hate
guys?
reading.
Oh my gosh. Do you guys all go to Hillgrove? Is that there's a common denominator here?
I'm probably gonna go like the literal side. I think it was Jenna that said it last week. Probably that survival book.
Dude, I was waiting for that answer. That was the best
It's
answer.
the most literal answer.
Yeah, that's a genius answer.
Why
Survival
wouldn't
book.
But what if you don't got the money for the survival class?
Yeah, there you go. All right. So then what's your album?
Probably go Greta Van Fleet.
What is it? Wait, what is it?
So Greta. No.
Yeah, Creed. No, Creed's your answer. Creed.
Creed is the answer. Yeah, we'll go with Creed.
Okay,
Why
Hours of
not?
Entertainment. Okay, and then what's your movie?
Space Jam.
Yes! Finally, an answer I can get behind. Yes!
Actually, no, take that back. Album, Space Jam soundtrack.
Yes! The album's, I was listening to that last week. It's from like 1996. I still listen to it.
Still slaps.
Oh my gosh. Great answer. It still slaps. At the time, they wouldn't have said that, but yes, it does now. All right, Cal, you're up, man. Give me, well, we'll skip right to what has been one of the most difficult things you've experienced in your high school career, if you will?
I would probably say transitioning from middle school to high school because, I mean, my dad works at the high school, and so I've been around there for a really long time, but still, like, transitioning and finding, like, a friend group that, like, I know that I can rely on and that I know, like, isn't going to get me in trouble either.
Right.
So that, like, was probably one of the hardest things about high school, just, like, finding that good group of friends just, like, right in the beginning. And I was fortunate enough to get that my second semester of ninth grade year. So
Gotcha. So your turning point out of that was finding this group of friends.
yes, and like we're probably like the best group of friends. Ethan's in our friend group, and I mean, like we went to the beach over spring break.
Right.
Had like zero problems whatsoever. So
No drama?
no
Drama.
Yes,
Right.
yeah. But
So then, now this might be your sage wisdom and advice of it, so we can just skip over that question, but maybe you have something else. But what would be some advice, just since we're talking about friends and finding that good group of core friends, what would be some advice specifically on friends and finding friends and having a friend group that you would give to underclassmen?
I would probably say just being patient and trusting in the Lord. Like, don't feel like you have to immediately find friends like the first day of school. And like, if you continually just pray about it and just trust in God, then it'll eventually happen. Like I have on my nightstand right by my bed, I have a block that says time changes everything. So, I mean, like, it'll work out eventually. You just have to trust in the Lord. So,
I like that. And you said for you it happened second semester.
second semester, yes.
That's great, yeah. Cool. And now you got this like tight-knit group of friends.
Oh, yes.
And you feel like moving forward, like you guys will just always stay in touch.
Right.
That's awesome. Cool. And where are you going off to school again?
Mississippi State University.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, so every single person up here is in the same small group with the same small group leader. Where's Paul at? Where's Paul? Where you at, Paul? All right, stand up, wave at the people. Stand up, wave at the people. Stand up, wave at the people. Yeah. So I want you to tell me something, just like you did with Jordan. I want you to tell me something that you like and appreciate about Paul.
Well, I appreciate how Paul is constantly there for us. I mean, like, if we have anything that we need to talk about, we know that we can always go to Paul. And he welcomes us into his home, like, all the time, pretty much, just to hang out and fellowship with each other. And so he's just very accountable, and that's what I love about him. So
It's awesome. You told me you guys you play some Halo too.
Oh, yes.
How's Paul's Halo game?
Paul talks a lot of
It's
trash.
terrible.
Just gets whooped every time.
Paul has no Halo game.
It's literally so bad, and he can't say nothing about it.
Does Paul know he's bad at Halo?
No, he thinks he's terrible. Literally the worst.
He thinks he's good, but okay. Does he trash talk or?
Yes, but
How
the
was
thing
that?
Is, but the thing is, like, Paul will trash talk, and then we'll trash talk, and then like he'll just give it right back to us. So we just go
So
back
bad.
and
Last
forth.
time his controller caught on fire. Like he's that bad.
What did you do to catch a controller on fire, Paul?
Dude, I can't hear him. I can't hear him, dude. I can't hear him.
Oh my gosh, he's moving so fast. Okay. All right. Well, guys, let's give it up for Cal, the sage wisdom, sage advice. Last but not least, we have my boy Ethan over here. So, Ethan, you have a unique story for a Sublime student. Tell the people how you came to Sublime.
So when I was younger, around elementary school, we started really we kind of lost touch with our old church, and so
You
we just,
being your family.
my
Your
family,
yeah.
yes. So we started kind of like church hopping around, just seeing which one fit.
I just picture you guys literally hopping like bunnies down the road to different churches. I don't know. Sorry. I'm a child.
And my sister got invited to North Metro by one of her friends, and my mom was like, okay, we should probably try this church because my sister went a couple times and she said she really liked it. So really up in like fourth grade, we all came here, and I just kind of graduated through the system.
You're a product of the system.
Product of the system.
Yeah. So you just kept moving up from fourth grade on, right?
Yeah, fourth grade on, all the way up the ladder.
And then you had to get demoted too, because right, you came to Sublime, and then they split into
Yeah,
shift, and you had to
So
back down.
kind of, because before shift happened, it was Sublime was 6th through 12th, and then like it was like first semester of 6th grade year, they just kind of cut it, and then they
And then you got moved to
demoted.
shift.
Yeah.
Got demoted. All right, so that's how you came to Sublime. I love hearing that because I like a strong succession plan, you know? Like, that's something we work really hard at as a church is just to have, always a next step to move up. And so, like, we'll have some 7th graders from shift moving up to 8th grade next year. So I love that, and that you've stayed the course that whole time. Now, give me one of your high points in Sublime. Like, give me one of the best experiences you've had. Could be a teaching, a song, an experience outside of Sublime or at Sublime, walking wisely. What is it?
It's definitely walking wisely.
Boom.
It's going to be
Every time.
the 11th grade year late night session. Mm-hmm. It's
What made that such a high point?
because that was the first year that we had Paul as our small group leader. Shout out to Paul.
Shout out to Paul again. Shout out.
Throughout like our entire like sort of like development and like going up the ladder, we've had like somewhere between 10 to 11 small group leaders.
Whoa.
And Paul is the second longest to stick, and he's currently 2 years now.
2
Thanks,
years
Paul.
in. 2 years in, Paul. 2 years in.
2 years in. So Paul, that first year, really just kind of, he figured out what situation that we had and what we've gone through with the amount of small group leaders we had, and he just took that opportunity and really like leaned into all of us, and then just kind of opened up.
That's awesome. We appreciate you, Paul.
Love you, Paul.
You're my boy. You're my special boy. Now, let me ask you this, the fun question. What's been one of the most difficult things you've gone through in your high school experience?
I'd say definitely transitioning into high school. So sort of like when I was in middle school, I always try to like fit in, sort of like that whole like fear of missing out sort of deal. So I try to fit in different groups, and then just always just like not really sticking into them. But so that was around 8th grade years when I was just like, this is ridiculous. So I just started becoming a little bit more antisocial and just really stuck to myself and just kind of got to a point where I just didn't really want to come to Sublime anymore, but I did out of just trying to save face.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then moving and transitioning into high school, again, found that really good group of friends.
So this is kind of the turning point
Yeah.
for you. Yeah.
So finding that really good group of friends and then just really sticking in and just, it's just a great group of friends.
It's awesome. So that's been like your support group.
Yeah.
What is it? You and I have talked about it. There's 14 of you guys or something?
14, yeah.
14. That's a good crew. That is a good. I don't think I know 14 people. Okay, so that's impressive. So, 14.
14.
And so that was like the game changer. So similar, you guys kind of have a similar story in
Yeah.
that, and you're in the same friend group, which is
So
awesome.
Cal joined first, and then I'd always walk past because I was that kid that just went straight to first block, didn't really want to talk to anybody. But I saw Cal and a few other people that I had from first semester, ninth grade, and I was like, okay, I'll try this out. So I just went a couple weeks and just talked with them, and then just stuck ever since.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I like that, man. So then what advice would you give transitioning out of Sublime? What advice would you give to the underclassmen? What's
I'd say-
something that they can learn?
Definitely don't be afraid to apologize because grudges definitely kill relationships, and it's just toxic.
And so you've had to face that in your time
Yeah.
in high school.
It, a
And
lot
then,
of-
so how long did you had something happen in a relationship? How long did that how long did that last?
So I had a friend in ninth grade. This was like one of the first friends that I made, and he just kind of split off, went to like the wrong group, just started partying a lot, drugs, alcohol, and that sort of deal. And I tried to confront him about it, and he wasn't having it. So we just kind of got in a little bit of a heated argument, and it was like 2.5 years of silence before we talked again.
But then, so in between that time, is that when you kind of had this, like the Lord showed you this thing about like, oh, I need to not hold grudges, or I need to.
Yeah, it was. I think it was February of last year. We had Michael gave a sermon about apologies and like not having excuses in apologies, and it really just opened me up to say like, okay, I really messed up with this relationship. I'm not gonna pursue it again, but I'm gonna apologize and make amends.
It's awesome. So you took the onus to go and approach your friend about it,
Yeah,
and they were receptive on that.
they were. I explained the situation like, hey, we don't have to be friends, but I just want to say I apologize for what happened.
It's really mature, man. It's really mature. You guys take notes on that. Take notes on that this morning. All right, well, let me end with this. Give me one of the most encouraging things that you've experienced in your time in Sublime. Something that
I'd
was
say-
immensely encouraging to you.
Definitely coming through the system with all this, like the amazing senior class. We've just really just bonded and then leaned into each other.
That's awesome. You guys do have a solid class. And I feel like you guys are all like tight, which I like. Everyone on the couch knows each other, likes each other, gets along. So that's a good answer. So that's been the most encouraging thing
Yeah.
you experienced. That's awesome. Well, I think we should give it up one more time for all the seniors that are up here today. Give it up. For real though, I am proud of you guys. Thank you for just investing in this ministry, like here on Wednesday nights. Thank you for how you guys serve so well in shift. I mean, you guys are super reliable, and I appreciate that more than you even know. And like, what did you just dab? That was like a quarter dab on it. All right, I didn't say anything. But yeah, I just thank you for leading out in shift. And thank you. I know you guys are down in the cafe all the time serving. And Ethan, I really appreciate you coming on board, man. For real. Like, you do a lot of stuff that I don't know how I would have margin or time to do that, so I really appreciate everything you've done. So I want to pray over you guys. I'm going to pray for you guys, and then we're going to wrap this thing up.